Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Tonight we're going to be looking at the Quick Pack workbench, something great for clamping. So for this project it requires two frame pieces, side supports, 4x4, and these are, instead of doing any type of joinery, it's connected together. I just screwed it with 2-inch rubber screws that are pre-drilled and recessed. Two here and one there, and then running down the sides, and then along the bottom you have two there as well. The whole idea of this is I want to be able to put together a workbench quick and easy. I share the garage with a car. So I have two leg supports, a stretcher that's got holes drilled in it for a couple of dowels, help lock in the bottom, and then two hardwood cross supports. I have to make sure that they're numbered. This should get me in a relatively close ballpark. There. You can use any kind of wood you want. Here I used just a nice red oak that was these used to be handrails from another project. So that one's going to go there. That one's going to go there. The whole idea is I need this to be quick and easy and give me a good location to clamp things up, because sometimes I do some projects that are kind of large and I need to do some clamping. Now, what I do is I get back. Line that up. Put this in there. There's that one. Eventually I want to make some T-knobs. I might actually end up doing some joinery on these. Right now I just have a couple, what I call, I stand aside these pieces here, the plywood, just to kind of hold the 4x4s together. These are sitting there snug enough where the bolts don't really turn till you get to where it's rather tight. Now I can tell you already that it is pretty heavy already. Here I have on the side, there's 1.25 inch rabbet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make cross supports that are going to go in between the two. These are 14 millimeter. And I have a socket that pretty much stays ready. This way I can just snug them up. I don't have to make them real tight, just snug enough to where it holds everything together. And then of course the bottom stretcher. dowels. The whole point of the dowels is to kind of help keep everything stay aligned. And it's got to be in the right spot, otherwise, I hope I had it the right way. That's how you know if you're in the right spot, otherwise the dowels won't go in. Okay, and there you have, it's pretty stable already. Then I have some 2x4, which I have milled to 1 1/4 inch, which sits flush with this. And I do need to make it a little bit smaller, so what I'm going to do is I need a support to go here, 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 and here. But what I'm thinking is that I'm going to drill holes every 1 inch. That way I can kind of move them around. Then I want some of these smaller ones, which will do the same thing. It'll sit kind of flush, go across the top. These are just a little bit smaller. Then I also have these boards, which are about a 1/2 inch thick. And I'm going to have some of these that go across. And so these will give me another height. As you notice, there's these grooves here. Which this moves just a little bit, but it sits in there and it slides. So my thought process is to use this somehow. I have a jig that I made, a platform, that what I want to do is I need to put a board here so that it can register 90 degrees on the side, and this will actually probably go here, so that it will register a perfect 90 degrees. And I'm thinking that I may have it attached like this, so then I can slide the whole attachment when I'm milling boards and trying to flatten them out. And then of course I have this one, which is for setting the skill saw in and just making a cut. And that too will have another cross support coming here, so it can register 90. But then let's say that I need something else. So, you know, I'm just going to try to create a workbench that I can put together pretty quick, and it serves multiple functions. I'm thinking about bench dogs, which are holes that will go in, and you'll have like a dowel, and they'll have to be perfectly 90, maybe, so that this can slide down and lock in place. And then I'd have another board down here, so I can put wood in, and I can create rabbits and dados and that kind of thing. So it is a work in progress, still in the design process. Still have a gang of ideas, but this is going to give me a sturdy and a fairly decent sized workbench. Now, the one that I had before was only about this tall, and I still have the plywood. Another one of my thoughts is taking another plywood board and having it cut to fit on here to where it lines up. I do have a couple pieces that I wanted to use for my Ryobi tray over here, but this will work good as a work surface. It does move a little bit too much, I need to figure out a way to stabilize it perhaps a little bit more, which I think I can do by connecting a board here and here, which will keep it from being able to rack. Maybe I'll do something like this. Not exactly sure yet, but I want to make this to where I can clamp pretty much anything I need to clamp any way I want to clamp. So if I have a strange board, whatever, I can just clamp it down. It ain't going anywhere. So I can clamp it in there. Let's take this board, for example. Which, if I want to cut it now, I'd have to set it across this way to safely cut it, or cut off the end. But once I get the supports in it, like these smaller ones, but actually it will sit down because I want these to kind of sit in there like so. And if I have more than one, I'm thinking that once I trim this up, this should sit almost level, but it'll give me a place to make my cross cuts. Or if I have these, if I have these thinner boards that sit down inside this rabbet, and I have them spaced out every inch, then I can set it up here and I can separate them. I can safely make my cut and not cut into my tabletop or my bench top or whatever. At the same time, that's kind of the same idea with these bigger ones. But I need them. Oh, that one almost works. It looks like it'll fit right in here, just about. But I want it to sit up on top like so. This will give me just a whole endless array of options. So I'll be able to secure this down. The bolt will be recessed, and I can take whatever I need to cut with a skill saw or whatever. Big sheets, I can cut those down even on this. The nice thing is that these boards are 50.5 inches, which isn't bad, but I can still take a longer board and make this even longer if I need it, which I think would require making one more of these. So it is a work in progress. Still got a few things to go. So now I guess the question is when I'm done at the end of the night, how long is it going to take me to put this thing away? Now with this, I don't need this because I didn't tighten everything up. So let's see how long this thing takes. Yeah, I definitely need some star knobs. I do have them, I just gotta see which ones are gonna work for what I'm doing. So far that hasn't taken that long. I definitely need to loosen this up. And I think that I'm gonna make these stationary. I think I'll glue them into this board. That way I don't have to try to take them out every time. But they'll just slide into the hole, locking it into position. I think that's how I'm gonna proceed with that. This one will just slide in and out rather freely. So. Drop them right back in there. That way I don't lose them. That works. And this is just this is still new yet. So I'm still playing around with a few different ideas. But the idea is to have the perfect place to clamp everything together quickly and easily and not have to sit there and screw around with it long. And I share the car with a vehicle, so I can't just leave everything out. So I have to clean everything up so she can get in. That just breaks down like that. Now I might, like I was saying before, to join this together, I could either give it a box joint or a dovetail or something to connect these two boards together. I don't know yet. This is just something quick and easy put together, and I can take it apart at any time and still have my 4x4s with just a few holes in them from the side scan. This. Because these 4x4s are only held together. I got 5 on the top and then 4 on the bottom, and then I have 4 on these ones. They go in 2 inches deep. The plan is to have one on each side. And the only purpose of that would be to keep the 4x4s together. Actually, this is supposed to go around this way because that's supposed to sit up there like with that. So, but yeah, I don't know. I might do this, but then I might. Another option would be just taking and making a notch here. Make a notch here to join these together.